Andy and I are going to just walk through a couple basic tips on lobbying, and then we're going to just do a sample, role play a sample meeting for you. So basically, there's a few key things. So one thing is you want to dress nicely. Try and do some research on the member that you're going to be meeting with. So find out some basic things about them. Where are they from? Where do they go to school? What's their full-time occupation? Because remember, these people are part-time legislators, so they have a day job, a real job. So that's good to know, and just some basic things like that. And that'll really help you build a connection with them. What committees are they on? And you can find that all out on the Capitol website. So if you go to capitol.state.tx.us, you can get some basic information about the member. The next thing is, I think when you're doing that research, another good thing to look into is something you can thank them for. If you want to ideally look back and see if there's some vote they took last session that was for the environment, that you can say, I really wanted to thank you for last session for voting for the big energy efficiency bill. That just helps you establish a relationship with them and show them that you know their voting record, and that you will give them some praise for doing the right thing. In general, I'd say there's a few different tips. One is what I call the 50-50 rule, and that means you only want to be speaking about 50% of the time. You want to have a conversation, not you just talking at them. Make sure that you've got a good ask. So you want to ask for a commitment from the member or from the staff. As well, you want to make sure that you're establishing a connection with the person. So before you launch into this is what I want you to do, blah, 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 take a second to find out, so where are you from? How long, if it's a staff person, how long have you been working for the representative? Are you from Houston as well? Where did you go to school? Oh, my kids went there. Take that time up front, because they'll really appreciate that. Some don'ts: make sure never to lie or to make something up. It's easy to feel like, oh my God, they asked me this question, I have to answer, and so I'll just think of the closest thing that sounds right. Don't do that. Just say, well, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out for you and get right back to you. You also want to make sure you're very respectful for them. And even if they're somebody that's awful on our issues, they always vote against us. You remember some key things. One is that they were democratically elected, so they have they've been chosen by their district to represent them, and so you have to honor that where they've come from at least for that reason.
The best thing that I can tell you is remember that numbers and specifics are convincing, but people remember narratives. If you go in there with a bunch of facts and figures, as convincing as that might be, it might not stick in that person's head. But if you've got a personal story that only you can tell, that's going to be even more convincing, especially if you are this person's constituent and you're there representing that constituency. So go in, be yourself, have a good time. This should not be hard. This should not be something that is like pulling teeth, although sometimes it is. But this should be something that you can come away with a good, positive experience.
So we're going to do a quick role play, and then we'll take some more questions. We just have a couple minutes left. So I'll be the ACT lobbyist, and Andy will be a staffer for a member. And so we'll just do a very quick version. Hi, Andy.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Nice to meet you. This is Gus.
Hi, Gus. Good to meet you.
We're with the Alliance for a Clean Texas.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk to you for a couple minutes about our environmental agenda.
Okay.
So how long have you been with the member?
This is my first legislative session with them.
So. And are you from Houston as well?
Not originally, but I've been here about 10 years.
Okay, great. Did you go to school here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, that's great. Well, so the Alliance for Clean Texas is a coalition of about 20 different environmental, conservation, consumer, and religious organizations that come together around some key principles for clean air and clean water and open spaces. And so today I wanted to talk to you particularly about solar power. And here's a fact sheet about the issue. And as you know, solar is clearly great for the environment, but it's also a really great opportunity to build our economy. And there's a bill that's been filed, HB 278. Have you had a chance to look at that bill?
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was a little worried. I think solar is going to be really expensive.
Yeah, the fact is that solar is currently a little more expensive than traditional electricity, but the projections are it's going to be competitive with traditional electricity sources the next 5 to 10 years. And so it's really not a question of when, or not a question of if, but when. And so the good news is if we support solar now, then we can attract the manufacturing and really be a world leader for solar power.
Okay, what got you so interested in solar? What's your...
Yeah, well, I'm really concerned, in the Houston area, of course, air quality is so bad. I'm really worried about Gus here and breathing
And
toxic.
the boss is calling from the floor. He wants you to go
Hey,
run something.
Andy, I know you got to run, but here's my information. And can you ask your boss about that bill, and I'll give you a call next week to see what he thinks about it?
Sure, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Great, thanks.